Hello and welcome back to Payday 2 101. Today we'll be discussing bad arguments. I've been doing Payday 2 101 for about half a year now, and as much as I love it, it can be frustrating at times. I love responding to people and talking strategy in the comment section when I can, but since comments scroll by so quickly and not everyone reads them before posting, often I'll find myself answering the same question over and over. This gets frustrating when the less polite members of the Payday 2 community make very bad arguments about things in the game and refuse to budge on what they think, even when in the face of proof otherwise. This is a series about learning how to be the best at Payday 2, so I think a big video where I tell everyone, rather than just those who read comments, will be a better way to spread the word. Let's get started. Number 1. You say this gun is bad, but I've killed a ton of people with it. The problem here is that this is anecdotal evidence. Evidence that is inadmissible because it's based completely on an untested person's personal experience. Not only do we not know how many people you consider lots, but we don't know what difficulty, we don't know how much help you got from your teammates, we know nothing about your skills, you likely haven't tested competing weapons under the same conditions because simply killing people in the game does not tell us that it was under any kind of controlled condition at all. Even if you were right and you killed a lot of people with that gun on a high difficulty without help and did great with it, that doesn't really prove anything. You killing people does not prove your gun is good. There are far more factors that go into killing people in Payday 2 than just how good your gun is. Give the default Shimano 88 pistol to a pro and a highly modded locomotive 12 gauge to new players, and I promise you that the pro will still get more kills. This is why we use math to compare weapons. It's reliable and easily testable by anyone. Crunching numbers on damage charts and testing stability in a shooting range of the safe house is a completely controlled environment where we can make sure the testing conditions don't change, ruining the test. The battlefield is not a controlled environment in the slightest. Number 2. I saw General Badass / Arrowkey Gaming do really well with it. Well, of course you saw them do really well with it. They're both very talented and experienced players. Once on my stream, I killed a ton of people with the AMCAR, the default starting assault rifle. That doesn't make it a good gun. If you put a better weapon of the same type in their hands, they would have done even better. General McBanus has gone on record as saying he doesn't like to use whatever's the most effective gun, he uses fun stuff, or else everyone would just be using the CAR 4 and locomotive shotgun. That's a completely valid and fine way to play the game. I'm just saying that when I analyze guns, I analyze how good they are, not necessarily how fun they are. That's it. Everyone can do their own thing. I'm not trying to limit anyone. Number 3. I killed a bulldozer fast with it. There's so many factors that go into killing a bulldozer, though. Sometimes it's not aiming for you, sometimes the distance is different, sometimes it's reloading, different difficulties change their health and damage, there are 3 different kinds of bulldozer, and on top of all of that, it's just someone's anecdote. There are just way too many factors that go into killing a bulldozer to use that as a benchmark for how good a weapon is. It's really unscientific to base a thesis off something with so many nearly untestable variables, when there's so many more reliable ways you can compare weapons, like through the use of basic math. We can simply compare the weapon's headshot damage to the enemy health chart and see how many bullets to the head it would take to kill each enemy. We test its stability against the fire rate in the safe house to see what kind of kickback and spread it has, and the accuracy is as simple as seeing what number is higher without going over 18. That is far more reliable and testable than an anecdote about killing a bulldozer. Number 4. What weapon is better is just up to your opinion. If it's on my show, I'm saying it's better because of math, not my opinion. There's nothing opinion-based about mathematics. I'll never assert that a weapon is better simply because I like it more. There's a very big difference between liking a weapon and thinking that it's a better weapon. Thinking that it's a better weapon actually requires research and proof to back it up, whereas saying that you personally enjoy is simply stating your opinion. It's completely fine to enjoy a weapon that's not that good at all. I love the Mosconi 12 gauge, although I acknowledge it's not the best gun at what it does. At all. I'll never try and argue that it's a great weapon simply because the proof does not support it. Just remember, you don't need to get defensive if a weapon you like is shown to not be the best one. You can still enjoy that weapon. No one's insulting you for enjoying it, just keep in mind that there's a big difference between this gun is fun and this gun is good. Number 5. I found this massive flaw in one of your general build videos. Like I say in the general build videos themselves, they're meant for new players to get a feel for specific playstyles. They're not meant to be the best builds. In fact, sometimes I take skills that I consider to be quite bad, however, it's all about learning the class and trying everything out. If you want to see a build that is being built purely around being effective as possible, check out my Death Wish build videos. More of those are coming soon, by the way. Number 6. Judge Gun is awesome in akimbo builds. This is a very specific one, but it's because a ton of people have commented about it. I agree that the Judge can be effective in an akimbo build, but it's not nearly as effective as a properly built locomotive shotgun in the same place. When it's built right, the locomotive will be nearly as concealable, while still having more effectiveness in combat, and the extra visibility you have will be low enough that you'll still have maximum dodge chance. Regardless, I would highly recommend that you do not use the Judge or the locomotive in an akimbo build. It spreads your skill tree too thin, going into shotguns, and it just waters down your actual akimbo build. I recommend that you go with the Akimbo Bernetti 9s and the Gruber Kurz secondary, and you'll be far more effective with that build than running around with a Judge gun in your akimbo build. Number 7. My Judge gun with HE rounds is great. Another specific one due to it being very popular in the comments. I can promise you right now that your Judge gun with HE rounds is majorly bringing down the whole team. I understand why you use it. It's a really fun gun, but the HE rounds make the ammo pickup rate for the Judge so horrendously bad that it eats up ammo pickups that the rest of the team could have been using. In fact, it's even worse than the Thanatos sniper rifle for that, due to you being so close range with the Judge. Even if you leave the ammo pickup specifically for everyone else, that just means you'll be a huge drain on the ammo bags. There's literally no situation where a Judge gun with the HE rounds can do things of value that the locomotive can't do with regular ammo. It's much more effective to just learn how to outmaneuver shields, and if you want to use HE rounds to remove faceplates from bulldozers, the M1014 primary shotgun with HE rounds is a great weapon for that, and I'd recommend taking one of those instead, especially on Death Wish difficulty. An M1014 primary with HE rounds on Death Wish difficulty is absolutely fantastic for removing the faceplates of skulldozers as well as stun locking them. I really do recommend that someone on the team take that, preferably someone with shotgun reload speed. Number 8. You don't talk about the stealth usability of weapons in your weapon guides videos. It's not fair. This one really isn't a bad argument, it's just something I'm questioned on somewhat often. I don't really talk about the stealth use of guns in weapon guide videos because there isn't really any need for variation in stealth weaponry from map to map or build to build. Unless you plan on going loud when failing stealth, something that I honestly don't know anyone who does that on a regular basis, you really only need 2 weapons. Use the Car 4 built for stealth as your primary, and the Locomotive 12 gauge built for stealth as your secondary. The Car 4 is accurate and able to kill any enemy in stealth with 1 headshot, and the Locomotive can be used up close to launch bodies into places where you can more easily answer the pager safely. Seeing as you never really want to kill an enemy in a place where you can't reach to answer their pager, you never have a reason to change up your weapons in stealth. If you have a pistol build, you could take a Raven shotgun primary and a Gruber Kurz or Signature 40 secondary, but you really don't have to. The Car 4 Locomotive Stealth combo works for any build. Number 9. This gun does more damage. Why are you saying that doesn't matter? This is a common mistake with less experienced players in general, the thought that higher damage means it kills people faster. It's a bit more complicated than that is the problem. That's why we look at damage charts. A damage chart is the chart of every enemy in the game and how much health they have, as well as how much extra damage they take from headshots. If your gun does 40 damage, that's enough to one-shot headshot green cops on overkill difficulty. If the gun does 43 damage, it still kills every enemy in the game just as fast on headshots. That's an extra 3 damage that does not help you. If you could trade that 3 extra damage for more stability, accuracy, clip size, or anything else, it would be worth it. This is why it's not always the best to use the strongest gun. I know that the word overkill has a ton of meanings in Payday 2, from the name of the company who makes the game to the shotgun scale in the game, but the term overkill is often used to describe wasted damage. For the sake of understanding, I'll just call it wasted damage. Wasted damage is the leftover damage that wasn't put into use after killing an enemy. If your gun does 40 damage and the enemy only had 15 health left, then there's 25 damage left over that did nothing. It would have been more effective in that specific instance to have a weaker weapon that is more ammo efficient, because you'll kill things just as quickly and have more ammo to keep doing it. That's why I tell players not to bring the Thanatos when the Rattlesnake will do just as well on overkill missions in general. The vast majority of what you'll be killing dies in one headshot from either gun, so the Rattlesnake has more ammo, drains ammo bags less, and picks up more ammo off the ground. If that didn't make sense to you, I do have another better way of describing it. When you're playing a turn-based RPG like, say, Final Fantasy VI, you don't cast your strongest spell on every enemy you see. You know that you can just take 1 or 2 swings at it with your sword to kill it. It would be a waste to use your magic points to cast Thunder 3 on every enemy you see in a field. It's the same way in Payday 2. Don't bring Thunder 3 when your enemies could be killed just as quickly with a sword. That's it for this semi-Q&A video. I hope that has helped explain a lot of things, as it can be kind of frustrating for me responding to the same argument over and over in the comment section. I don't want to just ignore them, because I want to help people do better at the game. That's the whole point of having this series. But it takes a very long time to individually tell each new person asking, as well as very frustrating when I spend so much time telling them and they don't always take my advice. If you know anyone who's been using any of the above bad arguments, or just have questions about these things, try showing them this video and maybe it'll help everyone in the community up their game. If you want to see some more Payday 2 from me, click the video on the left, and it'll take you to my playlist of Payday 2 live streams over on hitbox.tv. If you want to see something else, the video on the right will take you to one of my current playthroughs. Lastly, if you'd like to support me and what I do, check out my Patreon page in the description, where you can donate to me monthly and get rewards in return. Thank you everybody for watching, and until next time, have a nice day.